कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम्.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are very happy to welcome you all in today's online steel seminar. Welcome to all speakers, panelists, and attendees. Subject of today's seminar is Untold Success Story of Durgapur Steel Plant Modernization Project. Unique achievement through successful execution of critical turnkey EPC work by a global consortium of Russian, German, and Indian organizations comprising of public and private sector. At the outset, I would like to share a background of this seminar. In late 50s, around the same period, 3 steel plants were commissioned in India: Durgapur, Bhilai, and Rourkela. Durgapur with British support, Bhilai with Russian support, and Rourkela with German support. They used to be called temples of India. From the inception, Durgapur was not doing well for various reasons, while Bhilai and Rourkela were performing satisfactorily. Therefore, DSP modernization work was planned after around 30 years in a big way to turn around the situation. Aims and objectives were to increase capacity from 1 to 1.876 million tons per annum of finished steel, and also to improve product mix, productivity and profitability. After modernization work, turnaround happened and DSP started making profits. And till today, the plant is continuing with very positive level of performance and profit. Therefore, DSP modernization work is a success story, a glorious example of biggest and most complex modernization work done in steel sector, executed by a very competent, innovative, dedicated and cohesive project team who worked round the clock to make it happen for a brownfield project. That also considering facts that there was no mobile, mail, WhatsApp, AutoCAD, etc. That's why we are again telling it a success story which happened in West Bengal with suitable teamwork of all stakeholders and of course with strong political willingness and support from center and state governments. And this success story we would like to share with people. Objectives are highlights of Durgapur Steel Plant modernization work. Number 2 is concept and methodology of project management, which were helpful for success of aforesaid work. And number 3, relevant points which are helpful in present time for ISCO, DSP, RSP and other steel plant modernization projects. DSP modernization work, now coming to the details of it. DSP modernization work was executed by a global consortium of German, Russian and Indian companies, public and private sectors. In total, there were 7 companies in consortium. 2 from Germany, Management Technik and Krupp Industry Technik. 1 from Russia, Tiazprom Export, and 3 from India, BTS, Birla Technical Services, Hindustan Steelwork Construction Limited, HSCL, and Dotsal. Mekon was consultant of DSP for design, engineering, project management, and all downstream activities. 4 EPC turnkey packages were commissioned. Number 1, RMSC, Raw Material Handling Complex. Number 2, Blast Furnace. Number 3, Sintering Plant. And number 4, Basic Oxygen Furnace, that is steel melting. In RMSC, leader was KI, Krupp Industry Technik, and other partners members were TP, BTS, and HSCL. In Blast Furnace and Sinter Plant, leader was TP, and other members was BTS, HSCL, and in BF, MDH. In case of BOF, Management Dimag Bhutan Technique was the leader, and other members was BTS and Dotsal. And now I will come to the price part of it. Contract price for above 4 packages were 2,000 crore awarded in March 89, which in today's price, with all escalation factor, will be around 20,000 crores. Unique feature of this project is that Germans, Russians, and Indians work together, maybe first time in the world, shoulder to shoulder at Durgapur and at all other places. Probably it will never happened before, and will probably never happen again. And that also in a period when Berlin Wall was broken. At BTS, myself with my highly knowledgeable, energetic, dedicated teammates had the great historic lifetime opportunity to be associated with this DSP modernization work under the leadership of late Dr. B.N. Mojumdar. Under his vision and guidance, we created global consortium with Germany and Russia in tender stage and submitted our bid, and thereafter contract was awarded to us, and we executed work on turnkey EPC basis with our people-centric project team without modern communication and digital support. We will share our experience and views in detailed presentation. For digital preservation, maybe that we'll also record this program and upload in YouTube. Furthermore, we have reputed panelists and speakers from steel and other sectors who will present their valuable views and experience. Finally, we'll be very happy to share our knowledge and experience in upcoming modernization work in association with IIT wherever possible. Center of Excellence under Team IIT, under IIT Guwahati, and acclaimed industry experts will be in a position to render support suitably as per requirement. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Arnab.
Mr. Ghosh. Thank you, Mr. Ghosh, for the brief introduction. For the introductory session, our next speaker will be Mr. Srinivash Singh. Mr. Srinivash Singh is ex MD of Maklani Bharat, and he will present his speech in the inaugural session. Over to you, Mr. Singh. Please continue.
Acha, Arnab, I would
Yeah.
like to add, Mr. Srinivash Singh is a very reputed man in the industry, and actually
Yeah.
he doesn't need any introduction, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, when we got this DSP modernization work, he
Mm-hmm.
was in McNally Bharat, and throughout he was in the top of McNally Bharat. That time, we were associated with McNally Bharat, and in fact, we were also part owning McNally Bharat that time. So they were the part and parcel of very much in DSP modernization work and other projects also. Okay, over to Mr.
Over
Singh.
to you, Mr. Singh.
Okay, good afternoon to all the panelists and the dignitaries that who are attending this, whether personally or in any other manner. First of all, I must thank Mr. Amitabh and the others, those who have organized this program, and I am grateful that they have given me a chance to speak in this August gathering. First of all, I am compared to the experience and the job that all of you have in fact executed. I think I am compared to them. I am nothing. But yes, since Mr. Amitava Ghosh has spoken something about me, I must tell that you see, I have been in this industry for 55 years. Continuously, I have been working and mostly in running companies, those who are in the EPC business. So over these years, what I wanted to today share, because in Durgapur it was a gigantic plant, there were a lot of in the consortium members were from international as well as domestic. They have faced many problems which are usual in case of a new plant which comes up in any place. But in my career, I can tell you that you see, I have not only executed projects, but I have taken sick companies to from a in negative cash flow to a I mean, a company which have gone to the glory. For an example, McNally Bharat, I worked nearly about 45 years in two trenches. In one, you see, the first trench when I was there, we were a part of Birla Group, where, as Mr. Amitava Ghosh said, and I can tell you that I used to be associated with Mr. Ghosh and his mentor, Dr. Majumdar. And I must tell you today, in a retrospect, I find that those people were such a dedicated person that they were always thinking of Durgapur steel plant, how they should be able to complete it within the shortest possible time without compromising any quality. Yes, McNally played a very small role, more particularly in the material handling segment. So far as this plant of DSP is concerned, there are many other speakers who will say how it has happened. But what I want to today tell my experience and how today I have also tried to, I will explain to all of you that a new concept of how to manage complex problems in a shortest period time with a new theory of management. That is what I want to tell before this dignified dignitaries. I'll tell you today, sir, complexity when I say, see, now you have done a project of Durgapur where there are many customers, there were many contractors, there were financial problem, legal problem, there are various issues. But real, these complex problem in those days were all, you see, solved by the then project management tools that were available. But over these years, there has been lot of, in fact, improvement in the project management techniques, tools, and different kind of agencies, those who are having taking the project management as a expertise in every sphere. Somebody says I will be doing in engineering expertise, somebody says in the supply chain management, and so on. So in over these years, in fact, my last assignment was there. I was associated with JSPL, Naveen Jindal group of company to who are doing now presently executing their steel plant expanding from 6.5 million ton to 12 million ton. So there, you see, when I went and joined all through my life, I have worked with public sector, being the head of McNally Bharat, Binani Industries, and many companies where I was the managing director. So my when I was in Jindal, I found that you see we all the project management tools that has been used so far, whether in the past or even recently, they are all working in all in a manner that where the interaction is between person to person, but there is no cohesive coalition in such a manner that you see the tacit knowledge of the people are becoming explicit knowledge. When I say tacit knowledge, what is tacit knowledge? Tacit knowledge is there are many people who may not be connected with some other areas, but they may have some knowledge, and that knowledge should somehow or other come to the common forum so that it can give us a better solution. So this how to bring the tacit knowledge to explicit knowledge, and how to work in a new theory that is called integration. You see, integration is run through the system of cybernetics. When we say cybernetics, means it is a cybernetics is nothing but a process and control tools. Say in a computer, it may say it is also this a computer can handle thousand thousand application and give one result. Similarly, when we talk of human being, when we talk of the project, you see, if that principle of cybernetics it can be applied, you see, then we should be able to handle the projects much faster, and we can take decision in a manner that all of us will be in the same way. In fact, you see, this theory was invented by Dr. Stafford Beer, who was a German management consultant, and his basic principle was how the as a cybernetics as a human being today we are all running by you see self control. Say today we are in one place and our body temperature is say 92 degree. Even if you go to a very cold place, our body tries to remain here. The other factors that get adjusted. Similarly, when you are trying to do a project management, how the principle of cybernetics should be used through the entire mass. For an example, You see, we have engineering, we have construction people, we have quality control people, we have customer, we have consultant. Normally, what we have been doing traditionally, we have been all sitting separately, discussing each other, and then trying at the apex level, trying to take a decision. This particular integration is a theory where we will having a larger group of people if our objective is to complete the whole project in a period of 40 months. So it now the 40, when we are talking of 40 months, all the stakeholders, we should bring them together, all the yeah, and see what are the important factors which is going to contribute to the completion of the project, so that we are all in the same way of thinking. But this principle is done with a on the basis of cybernetics, but there are a lot of algorithms involved. So this particular theory has been in fact developed by one Switzerland management institute called Malik Institute of Management, and Dr. Malik has applied this theory in more than about 1,000 applications throughout the globe. And there we have found that the meeting, you see, just will show if this, you can share this. Just you can have a, we will show you, this is what is called a collective intelligence flow. What we do, sir, under this theory, we will have different, say now, this is a icosaedron, this is about, you know, this is the process by which all we, so the entire plant is divided into 12 different packages. In 12 different packages, we bring in the people from all the 12 packages, put them together and try to interact. We make groups where the one group will be presenting their issues, how they are going to solve. There will be another group opposite to them who will be criticizing based on the presentation that will be given. Like this, there will be 3 to 4 iterations in which all the people will be interacting. There will be cross functionality of, you can see this. You see, this takes the shape of a icosahedral. Say it is actually it runs in the principle of compression and tension. Say like each of these nodes, whether you see all, those are the places we can, those are the topics, and those topics, these all, whatever they connected to one topic to another topic, they are all represented by people. We say each node is under compression as well as under tension. So what happens under this theory, he has over last 30 years tried in many places and seen that if we can really take this collective intelligence in a very interactive manner where there will be iterations, so then what will happen, everybody will be in the same, they will be all looking at the same. It is not that today suppose BHL is there, another Siemens is there, somebody else is there, all of them are put together in the beginning, and a collect, how the collective intelligence of all the organizations are put together. You can just have a just see this picture. It is called a funnel type of thing. This is called integration process, where we do in a cybernetic process. We all say 12 12 packages leaders will be sitting together. They all will be discussing as to how we are going to complete. Not that you see the only the owner sits with the one package and comes to a conclusion. Here, all the package owners, along with the owners, people, consultant, everybody sits. Then it may be 12, it may be 30 packages, it may be 40. But to ensure that we go and reach our ultimate goal, then we create questions from all the stakeholders, and then we initially the suggestions may be more than 200, 300, 400, but we would like to bring down, filter down through a algorithm method, so that the 12 topics which should really give the real clue to us how we can go complete the project in a overall in a as per our own target schedule. So in a nutshell, this is the basic thing. I don't want to take much time of you gentlemen. My point of telling that today we are trying to apply this theory in Indian context. We have already started, in fact, talking to organizations like Larsen to Grow, Tata's, and many large number of companies. They are showing great interest. So what I am just, because in this forum I want to tell that all of you are so experienced that this theory if we really apply in case of any large construction of any complex project, the beauty of the theory is the handling complexity. If if it is a simple thing, this theory will not work, because not only it will be expensive, it will be also not be able to give the required iterations of various people, those who are involved. So we are trying to implement in this country. In fact, Mr. Jindal also, we are going to suggest that you apply this, you will find your next expansion will be completed without any delay. For your, information, we have been given a task by Tata, that you see Tata projects, that they are having a project something about 20,000 crore, which they are going to start shortly. So they feel they have, after talking to us, because here our partner from Switzerland will be there. In India, we are associated, we are under the name of RAIM barrier. We are working along with them. RAIM barrier means removing barrier is the name of our firm, which we are in India. We are about 20 people who are experts in various project management, project management, financial management, and overall corporate management people. And we are, along with the Malik Institute of Technology, we are going to spread this theory in our country, so that the earlier whatever tools we are using, they can be parallel used by people, but by using these tools, the projects can be completed in the schedule that we initially, plan for. This will highlight the problems in the beginning, and there will be a entire team will be there to solve the problem for all the packages in a manner that you see the independency of the packages can be handled as per the time. So, and in the DSP, you see modernization, you see there are multi-stake years are there. So wherever, I'm sure all of you had applied all, project management tools that was available those days. But I think in those days that was one of the best project management system that was applied, and the project was completed. But if anything new that is happening, I'm sure this new integration system, if it is applied, the projects would be completed on time. Thank you, sir, for having given the chance to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Singh.
Yeah.
Our next speaker will be Mr. B.D. Pal. Mr. Pal is from Mekon. He has worked in Mekon for a long time. And Mr. Pal has got a audio presentation given an audio presentation to us, which will be now.
No, but Mr. Paul can
Hello.
give the presentation straight away.
Yeah, Mr. Pal
Let it be in audio. I will
Yeah,
just introduce myself.
yeah, audio is already available with us. So
Okay.
we'll play the audio. Meanwhile, if you
Okay.
want to say something, you can continue.
Okay, let me speak a few words and then we start with the audio. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I am ex-Mekonian. I started with Mekon in early 70s and then continued up to first decade of 21st century. I was involved first in Vilai modernization or Vilai expansion from 2.5 million ton to 4 million ton. Then switched over and then got involved in DSP modernization from the very beginning to the end. My audio recordings will follow now. Thank you. Please.
Hello, friends. This is B.D. Pal, an ex-Mekonian. I'll speak a few words from my experience on DSP modernization project that was implemented in last 90s. I was involved with DSP modernization as the leader of electrical and automation group for the raw material handling plant. It was from concept to commissioning, starting from preparation of tender technical specification, tender scrutiny, approval of design, to supervision of project execution at site, and then final commissioning. My acquaintance with the DSP was much earlier to the modernization project. It started through implementation of smaller modifications to debottleneck the plant operations, particularly on material handling of coal, ore, flux, and other in-plant generations to feed coke ovens, sintering plant, and blast furnaces. The existing systems were practically manual, relying on conventional electromechanical relays having frequent breakdowns, thus affecting the productivity. Our main aim under the modernization was to combine the state-of-the-art, user-friendly, centralized microprocessor-based control, that is PLC application, using the latest available modern technology. This approach remains relevant for modernization of steel plants, be it ISCO, DSP, RSP, or others, for all time to come. It is to be noted that DSP modernization was undertaken nearly 3 decades after the plant was commissioned. The main hurdle was to convince the existing plant personnel, the main workforce, to embrace a totally hitherto unknown new solid-state based control system, introducing plant operations using video monitors instead of a control desk with switches and push buttons, the prevalent system. The mindset of the plant personnel was of fear of jumping into an unknown territory. But then they had perhaps no other choice other than entering a new era that promises the benefits of the ease of plant operation and maintenance, ensuring increasing efficiency and productivity. The raw material handling plant being quite laid out, covering a wide area, the plant operational personnel insisted for inclusion of a fallback arrangement using conventional electrics in case the new microprocessor system fails. Orders went to consortium of Indian partners with German and Russian technology providers. In the Iron Zone, Birla Technical Services was the main Indian pillars. BTS did a commendable job by pulling in young local talents for design, execution, and commissioning against many odds. Coming to the project execution, the most challenging was the management of such a gigantic project, an awful task. Part network with critical path analysis was used to monitor the package progress, with emphasis on critical areas. Still, bottlenecks did crop up now and then. These had to be overcome through utmost cooperation between the package supplier consortium, particularly the Indian partner BTS for Iron Zone, and a pragmatic combined team of DSP and Mekon. It is noteworthy that there was no single case of arbitration or legal fight. Disputes were settled through positive mindset from both the sides. This was a creditable feat and an example for all such big project management. Another credit goes to the then SAIL chairman who deployed groups of young engineers attached to packages of various plants. They were involved right from the development stage and design of each plant to project execution and commissioning. This enabled them to appreciate and absorb the modern technology, helping them to pick up quickly and later running the plant efficiently. Finally, During a closer meeting reviewing of the modernization project, the then MD DSP surprised me, asking why was the conventional relay-based backup system was provided at all in raw material handling plant? Well, I had to explain at great length the insistence of the plant personnel. But at the same time, I was very happy to note the attitudinal change at the highest level. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pal, for very interesting audio speech. And our next speaker and the last speaker for the inaugural session will be Mr. P Sarkar. Mr. P Sarkar was working in Tata Steel, and he is the founder member of the uh, International Steel Journal, Steel Tech. Over to you, Mr. Sarkar.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Thanks. Good afternoon and greetings to all the distinguished speakers and those who are attending this program. My special thanks to Mr. Amitava Ghosh, who has invited me to say a few words, although I'm not in the project management. As Mr. Arnab told you, I worked in Tata Steel in both in plant and marketing, and then was editor and publisher of a technical journal. That helped me in keeping what is happening in the steel industry. But for the project management, thanks to Mr. B.D. Pal and Mr. Singh, they've explained very well about the Durgapur modernization. What I have seen in the last, say, 50 years of my career, initially they sell 3 steel plants like Belai, Durgapur, Rourkela. Those were set up within a period of 3 to 4 years in late 50s or maybe early 60s. But later on, in Bokaro, Vizag, even Tata Steel, Kalinganagar, NMDC, they're taking 10 to 15 years to set up a steel plant. And that too, a greenfield steel plants. Brownfield steel plants are much more complicated. In brownfield steel plants, one has to encounter a lot of problems. Any project implementation is a very difficult task, coordinating with the plants, government agencies, unions, suppliers, financial problems, cost control, and to implement the project in time. In brownfield expansion, so it takes more time. In case of Durgapur, it was maybe 1 million ton, and to make it 2 million ton, you'll have to interact with various agencies in the plant, in the union, and that too in Durgapur, which is in West Bengal. And Durgapur was having a lot of problems. I was aware of that. It was having a poor product mix. It was not running to the full capacity of 1 million ton. It was incurring losses. So management has taken a decision to modernize it. And BTS, along with German and Russians, as has been told, they formed a consortium and did a wonderful job. In within a span of maybe 5 years or so, they have implemented the modernization program from 1 to maybe 2 million ton steel plant. This is a tremendous job which has been done to coordinate so many agencies. Somebody is in Moscow, somebody is in Germany and Durgapur, Calcutta office. So coordinating all the places and then working there, along with the plant people, is a tremendous task, no doubt about it, and they have done it very well. Like as I said, greenfield steel plant setting up is a much easier job. I've seen in must be in Durgapur also. It must have been done in say Dolvi. There's a 1 million ton blast furnace. It's been converted into 2.5 million or 5 million blast furnace. So from the same base has been changed and it has been increased to much higher capacity. So similarly in Durgapur, they must have done the similar type of jobs. The old plant has been made into a bigger plant and then modern plant. There will be always resistance from the existing people to use the new technology both as Mr. B.D. Pal was saying, the control system to various other technologies, adoption of new technologies, there'll be always resistance. So in spite of all that, the BTS has done a very good job in coordinating various agencies and convincing the plant people and working with them that how it is going to help them in better product mix. So overall, it is a very good job done. And my best compliments to all those who are involved in this mammoth project. I'm very happy to see that DSP, after the modernization, has been doing very well. The product mix has changed and it has become a profitable unit. So I thank once again Mr. Amitava Ghosh and the team for organizing this one. I'm sure the other speakers will give much more details of project management. Thank you. So Arnab may start the new session.
Arnab, Vishnudha hoega je next one he announce please.
Requesting Mr. The next speaker for the next session. Requesting next speaker for the next session, Mr. Arunava Gupta, to kindly deliver his address. I think Mr. Gupta is not. There may be some technical issue. I
think you can request Mr. Sen.
I request Mr. Arnab Banerjee.
If it's not there, the Pritish Sen. Mr. Pritish Sen is there. I think we can request him.
No.
Mr. Pritish Sen.
Yeah.
Requesting
Yeah,
you.
it's my time.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. A very good afternoon and a very happy and prosperous 2025 to all my fellow panelists and the participants attending the program. And at the outset, let me thank Mr. Ghosh for inviting me for this program. This is indeed a unique one because the EPC, which was successful, not only successful, and having a global consortium covering Russia, Germany, India, as mentioned by Mr. Ghosh earlier, which is not very common. And it was very successfully done, as told Mr. Ghosh in the beginning, under the leadership of great Dr. Majumdar. And I used to talk to Mr. Ghosh about this, and he also mentioned this not only a successful venture, but it's a successful venture in human being also. One Russian got married to one German. He also once mentioned to me. So this is,
Yes.
I used to listen very careful. It's a human front. This is also there, and there are very good speakers in the line, as spoken by Mr. Ghosh about the cybernetics, collective intelligence flow, integration for handling the complexity. I remember my old IIT days when I used to read the system dynamics. This is a part of this thing which is covered. Mr. Pal of X mentioned, who is also a project man, spoke about the project with regard to execution of the critical path mechanism. Not a single case of arbitration, etc. Mr. Sarkar, ex-Tata, my boss, when I shifted to Kolkata, mentioned about the greenfield and brownfield steel plants and brownfield expansion of the Indian steel plant, which is doing pretty well as well. Although I am not a project man, but when I joined Tata Steel, that time the expansion of the second one was going on. And Mr. Ghosh mentioned to me to cover some points which will be helpful for the success of modernization of Durgapur, but also which is still relevant for ISCO or DSP, RSP, or other steel plant modernization as well. So I thought of what to mention, and he gave me about 5 minutes or so, or little more than that. So I thought about it and what to cover. Then I thought the importance of the soft and interpersonal skills that are very powerful skill to drive a project towards the success. I think all will agree, and there are a lot of papers. In short, it is seen that several years from now, the organizations and the project management professionals strongly felt about the importance of interpersonal skill, that a very powerful skill to drive the project for success. And the Project Management Institute, a professional organization of projects professional, undertook a global research and found that such skills, which are now termed as a power skill, are very crucial for the importance and the completion of the project. They took a pulse of the profession of 2023. It was published, the response of 3,500 project professionals, including the other authors who responded to the surveying points towards the inference of organization that place a high priority on of these power skills, which are significantly better completing projects that met the business objectives. And in this changing world, with the first technological transformation and rapid change of business cycle wavelengths, and the unprecedented increase of geopolitical stresses, it has become an imperative for the project managers for today to be more nimble and more efficient in various soft skills to manage projects in a very stringent time and cost framework, failing which the project key objectives are destined to fail. And more often than not, they may lead to a total project failure. So as we see that PMI survey of 2021, so there was a survey which is seen the from 2019 to 21, meeting the original goals and business intent was increased from 68% to 73% in 2021 compared to 2019. They completed within original budget, which used to be 57%, it has jumped to 62%. The completion of time, it was 51%, which was earlier in 2019, increased to 55%. And the deemed failures, which used to be around 15%, it has come down to 12%, and gradually it is reducing. So this is the PMI triangle, intent triangle, which is being given to this thing. And to give us some key power skill, if you what we mentioned about the interpersonal skills, there are few skills which are some of the more important things are which are their emotional intelligence, adaptability to and attribute to change, effective time management, assertiveness, leadership, and self motivation. So I can go on this. So as because the time was limited to me for about 5 minutes or so, I shall finish with a one thing which, like say live example may not be very related, but about the self motivation, I shall give you a small example. See, when I came to Tata Center, when I shifted from Jamshedpur to here, I used to be there in the market research. And that time, in these days, a lot of information available internet. That time, it was not so. So what we used to do, so we used to collect that, see the newspapers and see what are the things besides our own connection. We used to see what was reported. So there is a person in my department who was given to see all the newspaper and magazines and see make the paper cuttings of this. I'm talking about 90s. So he used to do whenever it is, like the steel plant, if there's some reporting, he used to make a paper cutting, give it to us. Then we used to go through, make a daily update or monthly one we used to make. So that gentleman, that time steel plants which are there, Raurkela, Durgapur, Bhilai, Bokaro. So in short, it is called Raurkela, RSP, DSP, like the Durgapur steel plant, which modernization we are talking about. So I was amazed to see a cutout that DSP shot dead. So I was, what happened? Why this one? So I said one deputy superintendent of police was killed. So as because it was mentioned DSP, he made a cutting and put it. So this is, like unless otherwise you're motivated to see what is getting cut, what is put, and in his place when I put another person, so he not only made the paper cutting, but he used to see what I was doing. So he used to make the précis and give it to me. Then I found that I talked to him and I found his background. He said, "Sir, I am very interested in studying." And I told him, "What is your background?" He said, "I am a lawyer also." I said, "Why are you here?" Yes, he was a staff member. So I used to encourage him, "Why don't you also pursue that one?" So he used to go to in the evening and attached to a senior lawyer. Later on, after almost 10 years or so, that gentleman came and told me, sir, I am not only practicing in Kolkata High Court, but also I go to Supreme Court. So this is depends on like how is your self motivation and what is the leadership. So I can continue more on this. So I am giving you the brief what I gave you, that it was also covered by Mr. Ghosh of Kalyani, who is the director of projects. His paper also we published in our publications of Steel Tech. What Arnab mentioned was started by Mr. Ghosh and we, Mr. Sarkar. So with this, I'm stopping here. If there's any question or something, we can go later on, but we can talk to. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Ghosh and others for this time. Over to Arnab or Mr. Dutta, who is coordinating. And if it's still time, I can continue further.
No.
Thank you, Mr. Sen, for
Okay.
your lucid
Thank you.
for your lucid deliberation. Now I request Mr. Arnab Banerjee, because Mr. Amal Sengupta is not present in today's session. Over to Mr. Arnab Banerjee.
Thank you, Anirban. I would request our Pallab to show the slides. Yes. Yeah, I am just giving the objectives of the project, and the subject of the project is Untold Success Story of Durgapur Steel Plant Modernization Project, unique achievement through successful execution of critical turnkey EPC work by the global consortium of Russian, German, and Indian organizations comprising of public and private sectors. An initiative of GBS Energy and all well-wishers. Next. Pallav. The highlight, the objective was highlights of Durgapur Steel Plant modernization work executed in 90s, around 3 decades ago. Concept and methodology of the project management which were helpful for success of aforesaid work, relevant points which are helpful in present time for ISCO, DSP, RSP and other steel plant modernization projects. The aims and objectives of DSP modernization in 1990 was to increase capacity from 1 million ton to 1.876 million ton per annum of finished steel, to improve the product mix, to improve productivity, and to improve profitability. The packages were successfully completed and commissioned in 90s, around 3 decades ago, by a consortium, global consortium, and consortium members were from Germany, Russia, India, both in public and private sector. The DSP modernization packages consisting of raw material handling complex, blast furnace, sintering plant, and basic oxygen plant. The packages and consortium was raw material handling complex. It was consisting of KI, BTS, HSCL, and leader was KI. The blast furnace packages was consisting of TP, MDH, BTH, and HSCL. Leader was TP. The sinter plant was taken over by TP, BTS, HSCL, and leader was TP. Basic oxygen furnace was taken over by MDH, BTS, and DL. Leader was MDH. The DSP modernization, the value of the contract was Indian rupees 2,000 crore. In today's time, it will be not less than 20,000 crore. Period of contract was started in 1989 and completed in 95. So it took about 6 years to complete the project. The challenges faced was absent of CAD, CAM, what we are enjoying today. Email, mobile, video, nothing was there. Conferencing, WhatsApp, nothing was available at that point of time. Lot of time was spent in physical movement from site to users, decision makers to resolve issues on this. The formation of consortium was the idea of consortium has been great success and unique in nature for reasons explained below. Formation of global consortium in India was conceptualized and implemented for execution of a EPC turnkey contract for a mega steel plant. For a mega steel plant modernization work comprising of technology suppliers and EPC contractors from 3 different countries belonging to public and private sectors. Indian firm Birla Technical Service (BTS) took the lead to form the consortium to execute the challenging modernization project of Durgapur plant, the steel plant. Germany and Russia working together as contractors under one umbrella everywhere in the world in the consortium partner was made possible by Indian firm BTS. This was a unique incident at that time that Russia and Germany was working together. The formation of consortium was like this: Germany and Russia, India working together in the consortium as turnkey contractors of Steel Authority of India, a public sector unit of India. All stakeholders felt proud to be associated with the aforesaid work being done for the first time in India and possibly the first time in the world to the largest projects ever. The biggest challenge was it was a brownfield expansion project. The EPC contractor had to ensure that the production of existing units were not affected. Safety standards should be the highest. There was not a single fatal accident and fire incident. Immediately on completion of the modernization project, there has been a turnaround of DSP and became a sustained profit-making unit despite adverse product mix and high volume of semi-finished product, namely non-cast billets. So this was the most important aspect of the project. In every respect, DSP modernization was a success story. So most important thing is that DSP first time started making profit after execution of this project, and this is the large success of this expansion work and modernization project. So I want to congratulate the whole project team and Mr. Amitava Ghosh for this success. And I now hand over to the anchor, Mr. Anirban Dutta. Over to you, Anirban.
Thank you, Mr. Banerjee. A very crisp presentation, which practically captured the entire success story. So, may I now request the next speaker of the session, Mr. Amarnath Mitra, to kindly deliver his address.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. I am Dhiraj Mandal from Durgapur Steel Plant. Should I be allowed to talk for 2 minutes?
Yes. Yes. Why not?
Sir, I am D. Mandal. I was working in the commercial department. There is IPM MM. I was in MM, who finalized all this contract. Of course, the main credit goes to Mekon. But we are talking about 90s only. But contract finalizing itself is the project. We are not talking about that.
Yes.
And that is the most critical part of this job, isn't it? And Mekon's contribution is invaluable. You cannot measure this thing. Mekon and Durgapur Steel Plant combined together. Not only this was possible because BTS took the lead to this coming to form this consortium, etc. But to tackle with this heterogeneous group, it's not easy for the employer also. That you must remember. And we are forgetting 3 more packages in which there is foreign contractors as well as Indian contractors. Number 1, continuous casting plant. It was between Conca, Switzerland and Larsen and Toubro. Then again, rolling mills, there were two packages. One package consisting of wheel axle plant, where the Simple Camp Germany was a party. These we are not mentioning. We are talking about these four big packages only. Of course, Concast was not a small package. It was also a big package. So this should be taken care. This should also be discussed. Of course, it was not complex as the group consisting of BTS, Dorsal, HSCL, TP, KI, and management debug. Okay, sir. Only we are talking about the implementation part. But before implementation, what has happened? How these contracts were finalized? That is also a very important part, very crucial part. At those days. Okay, sir. Fine.
Okay,
Carry
can
on.
I interject, Mr. Mandal?
Yes, sir.
I was involved right from the beginning, including all tender period.
Yes, sir.
But
I know.
actually, you know me, but I was associated with 4 packages, and I have seen other
Okay.
package, that is raw material handling, complex, blast
I
furnace.
understand, sir. Single
Yeah.
plant.
But other packages, I'll not be able to say because there is no people here. See, the problem is that few days back I went to Durgapur, and when I asked people, they said, we know that 30 years back, some people have worked here. So can you do something so that I can put it something on the... It is also a sort of record. It will be, actually, we will keep it in the, we'll upload in the YouTube, record it. Because this information is not available to the modern people, modern generation. When there was no mobile. And this is one.
Sir, give me 5.
No, I am not finished. I am not finished. Secondly, as you are talking about the tender part, one good advantage was that we had the Russian, and Russian was first time bidding in the world. Because they all, the government sectors, they give it on the just talking and discussing and finalizing. So first time in the world, we had Russians. And when I went to Moscow, they told me that to whom shall I submit the offer? The first this was the situation. And I remember we were having a big commercial discussion in Durgapur. There was nobody from Russia, TP. So when I called them, they said, what are your points? We all agreed to all your points. No discussion. And they said, India is our friend. Where is the commercial discussion? And during execution, first time, they have sent all refractory liners, and DSP said, how can they send? We have not opened the letter of credit. He said, India is our friend. What is the question of LC?
Yeah.
This was the support we got from Russia. I tell you. And without Russia, this project would have been very difficult. And till today, I am telling you, with all this modernization and whatever latest gadgets, the human factor is most important.
Yeah.
Without the human bonding, a project of like that complex project cannot happen. Yeah. We had no holidays, I am telling you. Today,
I know,
people talk 75 hours. People today talk 75 hours a week, 90 hours a week, but we did not know this, but we were actually following this. Yeah. And we were not staring at our wives that time. Totally. And that was the time we spent because we had one agenda that we have to make it successful.
Right, sir.
And we did it.
Right,
yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, I will take 5 minutes time.
Yeah, please.
If you have patience. Sir, it started in 1984. 1984, perhaps I have forgotten. Mr. Pranav Mukherjee was the finance minister, our ex-president.
Yeah.
He gave a allotment of 25 lakhs of rupees. This is for enabling works. In 1984 itself, Durgapur Steel Plant of their own, this published pre-bid applications for shortlisting of tenders. Then thereafter, Mekon was involved. and a consultancy agreement was being discussed between Mekon and Durgapur Steel Plant. Then again, in 1986, Mekon was told that it is a huge job, so you prepare a list of contractors and prepare a rationale for them. Why should we go to this party, this party? Then Mekon shortlisted all these parties. They excluded any US company for many reasons. They excluded Western European countries, not East European countries. They included Russians. Okay?
Yeah.
And at these 4 or 5 countries they selected for this, and they shortlisted the parties also. Yeah. Including this management debate. It was Mekon's brainchild. Dr. Laha was the chairman of Mekon at that point of time.
Yes.
And a signed paper, a rationale or white paper, whatever you call, it was prepared by Mekon. It was signed none other than Dr. Laha. And it was given to Mr. D. Mukhopadhyay, Managing Director, Durgapur Steel Plant. Then it started from that point of view. Then we issued the limited tender inquiries to the parties shortlisted by Mekon, as well as cleared by Apex Committee. There were Apex Committee, you know, the chairman of the Apex Committee was the Vice Chairman Cell.
Yeah.
None other than Mr. Jain at that point of time. Mr. V. Krishnamurthy was the chairman.
Mr. Mandal, I'll share one more incident. You know, when the global tender was issued for blast furnace package, the same cell, riveted cell, which was made in 50s, was kept as it is. And the latest gadgets they were put, that was the condition of the contract, condition of the tender. And when we got TP with us, TP refused to do this. They said in 90s, we cannot do the work with a rickety riveted construction. We have to change
it. Yes, sir. I'm remembering, sir.
We have to, I'm telling you, we have to change it. Then already global bid was issued to British and Japanese companies, but they said that we will not do. Then we convinced them. Even DSP told us, you at least you submit your bid, we'll later change. And they submitted, and later on it was changed, and the beautiful welded shell was made with a obviously reserve capacity of the Russians. And blast furnace is supposed to be the heart of the steel plant, and the blast furnace has a huge reserve capacity in Durgapur steel plant, along with the downstream facilities. That is why Durgapur is making profit.
Right, sir. Right, sir. You are very correct, sir. You are very correct. That's why TP was made the leader in that blast furnace package only. No?
And sintering plant also.
Sintering also.
Yes, of course. And they did an excellent job, I'm telling you.
It's an excellent job.
And another incident I want to share. In the last point and the last stage of the paper, when the total price was 2,000 crore, then then chairman, Mr. B. Krishnamurthy, he came that unless you reduce by 150 crore, we have no budget.
Right, sir. Exactly. I was present in that meeting. Though I was the backbencher.
And we 3 people, one Mr. Mitra and Mr. Nandi, we sat in the hotel, and within 2 hours, I don't know how, we reduced 150 crores. Which is, today I don't understand how do I do it. Because that time I was getting a salary of 5,000 rupees. So all these
I am still remembering you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So with that, I thought that we must make some session, at least online session, so that we can share our views and keep it on record, something.
Please, sir. Please.
Okay. So, Anirban?
Really, Mr. Mandal, he has put the insight of the contract management of modernization, and really we are thankful to you, sir, for bringing this into this session. May I now request Mr. Amarnath Mitra to kindly share his address. Mr. Mitra, are you online? I think Mr. Mitra might be offline. Although,
So you can type.
yeah, Mr. Mitra, Mr. Mitra, can you hear
Yes.
us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Mr. Mitra, can you
I can hear you.
start your address?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you can hear you.
You see, the day I joined, in fact, in around March or April in '89, within 5 days, BTS got the letter of intent, and our basic start, first objective was to start basic engineering. So, on all our new fellows, we went to Durgapur steel plant, and in the drawing rooms, we searched for 20 days and recover around 700 to 800 old drawings. We hand over to TP for starting the basic engineering activities. And those tracing was absolutely in bad condition. All it has become, you cannot read anything. And we recover all these things. Somehow we recovered and we hand over to Marchenko. That Marchenko was the leader that time, I remember, to start the basic engineering. And I am telling the BTS had the main package of conversation of the blast furnace. And we, with the help of McNeely Bharat, nicely and successfully commissioned first time in India conversation of the blast furnace feed with the support of rotorky and this year's control system all given by rotorky. And I must say that without the support of Gipromas, this project never would have been completed. They have never got any commercial issue to solve to progress of the jobs. And that time there was no project management tool was there except Primavera, I remember. And I remember that whatever their engineering team was there, they went to the site. And even for BTS, who are the engineering team, Dr. Mujumdar forced us to go to the site and stay at the site. That is the basic reason for our success in time.
Exactly.
And we feel that all our young people, we never used to think that what we'll get in return. And we have, like Mr. Ghosh was telling, we how much effort we have given. I just cannot imagine nowadays the people will give like this. Of course, I have made some. I have experience of certain major project in India also, like Haldia Petrochemical, where I was project director from Toyo. But I have never seen such teamwork like Durgapur Steel Plant. In fact, I remember when the shutdown was taken for starting the blast furnace, 36 hours we never left the site. And we are all working till whole night along with the Mekon support to start the blast furnace gas supply to the BOF, these stoves. So I remember certain things. And I think that this is the most useful things I have done for my country, for associated with me for these projects. Thank you very much. If you want to know something, ask any question, I can reply. But this is a short time, 4 to 5 minutes I have been given. Whatever I understood, I have told. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
Only thing I can add, Mr. Mitra was a great leader. I have seen him. I have seen myself. Mr. Mitra was a great leader.
Yes, very nicely. Yes. The scenario at that time. And now I request Mr. Arunava to kindly share his thoughts.
Thank you. Hello. Am I audible, please?
Yes, you are audible, sir.
Thank you. So actually, I will give a presentation, PowerPoint presentation on DSP modernization more in detail. So the first five or six uh, pages have already been covered by Mr. Arnab. So please come to slide number 6. Right. Thank you. So let us go little more detail into the project. What was done by this? There are basic 4 packages which were handled by this consortium. One is raw material handling complex, next is sinter plant, then is blast furnace, and lastly is basic oxygen furnace. Now coming to the raw material handling package, it has 2 parts. Part A is ore preparation plant and part B is coal preparation plant. Any problem? Hello? Then the user department for both these are blast furnace, old and new sinter plants, new lime calcination plant, basic oxygen furnace, and the coke oven. Next one, please. Broad facilities under this project complex. One new wagon tippler with 2 number ore and coal in addition to the existing 4 numbers. Then flux crushing, coke crushing, sinter mix preparation with the help of predetermined mix blending by process control computers connected with 17 automatic sampling system. 5 coal blending in
Don't
14
change.
silos.
1 minute,
Hello.
please. I mean, the slide is going, jumping one. Kindly go back to the previous slide. I mean, Mr. Dattut is presenting. Whoever is handling the slide. Yeah. It's okay now. Fine. Sir, please
Follow.
continue. Please
Please
continue.
follow this one. Then coal blending in 14 silos with predetermined auto proportioning devices, selectively crushing of coal with automatic samplers, pneumatic classifiers, and continual online improvement of coal by radiometric ash monitoring. Next one is additional 12 numbers, new storage, 8 ore and 4 coal, beds equipped in stockyards with 11 number stockyard machines and 2 numbers transfer cars. Induction of new accessories like air blasters, material presence indicators, bin level indicators, bin vibrators, chute jamming indicators, etc. Next one. Now, bulk material handling, what were those? From external sources, ore finds and lumps from mines, then limestone, next is dolomite, next is manganese oxides, bauxite, and coal. Next one. In-plant sources were coke bridge, return sinter, flue dust, mill scale, RMP arisings, and sand. In the iron zone, DSP modernization jobs were as under. Next one, follow. Hello.
Carry on, please.
Please continue,
One
sir.
second. Follow. Please come back one. Previous one. Previous one. তো একমাত্র সিকুয়েন্সিয়ালি করা নেই। Okay, coming to the highlights of DSP modernization, majority was done by consortium during 89 to 95, which helped DSP to turn around immediately after commissioning of new facilities. Since then, DSP have been regularly earning profit and contributing for growth of sale. This point had earlier also been explained by the previous speakers. One significant change Consortium made is to replace existing rickety riveted blast furnace shell with a new sleek modern welded shell. The idea of consortium had been great success and unique in nature for reasons explained below. Formation of a global consortium in India was conceptualized and implemented for execution of a EPC turnkey contract for a mega steel plant modernization work comprising of technology suppliers and EPC contractors from 3 different countries belonging to public and private sectors. During DSP modernization, nearly 500, this figure should be 200. We made a mistake. 200 large, medium, small companies in public and private sectors served as consultants, vendors, and subcontractors to BTS. The communications during those periods done through landlines, telex, and fax. No online communications were possible. All reports were prepared by hand or by typewriters. All the drawings were prepared by hand on board. No AutoCAD and computerized drawings were in use. Moreover, no mobile phone, email, WhatsApp, social media, Facebook, and private news channels were available at that point of time. Amazing historical achievements. Birla Technical Services led Dr. B.N. Mojumdar did the most difficult pivotal role of the coordinator amongst the global consortium members and successfully executed the projects and commissioned and handed over to Durgapur Steel Plant. All disputes and conflicts among global consortium members from India, Russia, and Germany were amicably resolved at all stages, right from concept in 1988 to commissioning in 1995 of DSP modernization job. Challenges faced during this modernization. It was a brownfield expansion project. The EPC contractors had to ensure that production of existing units were not affected. Very high safety standards were maintained. Despite utmost fear, there was a fatal accident and a fire incident during the modernization job. It was a brownfield project. The EPC contractors, next one. DSP Durgapur turned around immediately after modernization and became sustained profit-making unit despite high volume of semi-finished products, namely concast billets. In every respect, DSP modernization was a success story, and we compliment every single person associated with the project. That is the presentation in short. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Dattagupta. Your presentation really captures in a very crisp manner the entire success story. I think the next speaker for today's session, Mr. Ashok Ghosh, he is not presently online. May I now request Mr. P.K. Banerjee to kindly share his deliberation.
Thank you, everyone. Hello, everybody. So far we have heard so many aspects of project management. Thanks to Srinivash Sen, Mr. Pritish Sen, and Mr. Sarkar. We understood that on today's date, so many project management tools are available with us, which have been explained that at that time it was not like that, as Mr. Paul, BD Paul, and all have explained. And a paradigm shift has happened in this construction platform. Simply, I say, now here, while I did one building known as Atmosphere, am I audible?
Very good.
Yeah. So while I did a building, namely Atmosphere in Kolkata, it has a steel bridge connecting two buildings. This steel bridge is having 2,000 tons, and a single piece lifting we made more than 1,000 ton at the central portion. How smoothly, how precisely, by using present construction tools and present management practices. Very smoothly. At that time, when I was standing in front of that erection, I was thinking my 1990s stacker cum recliner boom erection, which was hardly 40 meters long, with all its loading all together, maybe a 70 ton. Thereby, we had to organize 3 number of crane putting together, brought an expert rigger, brought an expert erector of salmon curves, and could get it erected. A single piece of 40 meters long, maybe some 70, 80 tons weight. Now we have lifted 1,000 tons of 100-meter length of structure in a single piece in continuous in a mode of 24 hours, so precisely. So everything has changed. Now, finally, what I want to mean that yes, tools are available now, management skills are available now, and so many softwares are available for drawing design as well as management. But again, I repeat, as Mr. Ghosh said, Mr. Mitra has said, that at the very outset, Dr. Mujumdar has sent all the people to site. And again, at the end and also in the middle, every time, all the people are mostly coming to site and having stayed inside. So physical presence is very important, especially in a modernization or retrofit project. It has got no definition. You do not know what is happening in the next moment. Every step is a challenge. So I was thinking the success story already we have heard of it. So I want to think myself behind the success story, how to explain. Rather, I would like to recap that what kind of challenges you have to face and how to mitigate it. And probably that will be the success story of the steel plant modernization, and which in fact, in turn, can help the future modernization, especially for the brownfield projects. It follows no grammar for it. So we always vouch today also the design group, the technological group, and the construction group has to work hand to hand. And most of the time they have to be in close touch with the site at the construction place, which is rather, I believe that probably I had my best friends in the design group, though I was a man for construction, responsible for construction. But Ashok Ghosh or Sen or Amal, everybody was my very good friends, rather better friends than whoever is in the construction. We stayed more time together. So this is number one. So I rather go presenting the challenges again, a big list of challenges. Every step was challenge. So I wanted to point out a few mitigation issues, how one could mitigate. So that is probably a likely solution. So one is the physical presence of the responsible people, appropriate people at appropriate time. Next is the use of local resources. I understand that BTS had to supply a huge quantity of technological structure, like shoes, like hoppers, bunkers, plates, etc., within a very short time. And bold steps have been taken by BTS at that time to develop the local workshops, to make them fit, to make it usable for fabrication of these requirements of Durgapur steel plant modernization. And fantastic approach. BTS has deployed a huge number of supervisors, engineers, and inspectors at Durgapur, in and around the plant, wherever these things were being manufactured. This is not only to regulate the time or the on factory shop quality, but also what happens every time. Probably everybody faces that this material list has come, truck has come, all the materials have come as, say, for a chute or a bunker, but one small corner piece is missing. A very common thing. A small corner piece is missing. Everybody is shouting everywhere. Now, being manufactured in local shops, one could go, run, rush, find out, okay, that is there in the corner of that workshop. Carry it, bring it down to the site, put it back. So this was the greatest advantage and learning, I should say. This has happened when civil engineering, some materials are coming, and from the local shops, materials are coming. And quality was in our hand. We have deployed our own engineers and supervisors and people on that spot. So this is I believe, a very good decision, or a exemplary decision on which this kind of, especially brownfield projects, can work maximally best. Not only these local shops or local materials, but also the local human resource. Human resource is another most important person. So at some point of time, probably with me, probably more than 5,000 workers were working. And everybody knew that at that time, Durgapur was quite famous for his arrogant labor attitude or arrogant unionism, like blah, blah, blah. But believe me, I have faced no trouble at any point of time. Because at the very outset, I took a call, I took a stand that I work transparently. I sat with the union very outset, decided what to do, what not to do, what they can do, what they cannot do. Came to an understanding. And up to the end, I followed that strictly with a transparency, and I have faced no problem. Even in some cases, I had faced a problem because of my fault. But how those people have come forward to save me up to the last end, I ever remember. So strongly I believe that if there is a specially organized union is available in some plant, so they should be taken into confidence and work transparently to achieve the success. Then next important point, I believe, that which will not always happen, third party or the foreign experts involvement. Yes, in our packages we have our foreign experts, especially these 13 stockyard machines which has been talked about in cold bed, ore bed, flux bed, and Sintamix bed. These all stockyard machines, they were under the direct supervision and engineering of German groups, and German engineers and supervised technical people were available, under whose guidance we had to work. We learned a lot. At that time, believe me, now today, each and every civil contractor is having Hilti machine in his hand. And a BOQ has been developed, river grouting, just pushing Hilti and make a drill and push the river. At that time, no Hilti machine was available here. So our German friend, who had been to his home and coming back, so he carried 2 red boxes, which is a Hilti drill machines. It is not available here. So that's why I said a paradigm shift has happened. Now with them working, we understood several times. One day I saw that one German expert was running behind my engineer with a bamboo in his hand. He has made some fault, some mistake. So he was rushing through. So quality when some third party is there, or when foreign experts are there, is very important. We should welcome them. Not that, oh, so हम तो पकड़ जाएगा, अरे इसमें तो हमारा गलती हो जाएगा, इसमें it will be published. No worry. But ultimate aim is to deliver the best quality project in a best time with a good cost. That is the objective. So why should I be afraid? Let us get associated, work with them together. Last but not the least, from where Mr. B.D. Pal has started and another speaker has also told, the mindset of the existing people. When after a few days, when I entered DSP, everybody has started talking, DSP is having total strength of 30,000 of people inside working in the plant. And after this modernization, what will happen? This will be 10,000 or less. So you understand the kind of fear, the kind of apprehension created before we entered into the site. So how can you expect cooperation from them? This is number one. I found something management has to be careful in this kind of propaganda or this kind of, without giving the proper training or the proper awareness program in place. If only this word goes, 30,000 tomorrow is becoming 10,000. So 20,000 people will lose their job. So there's always an apprehension. So better to handle it. And mindset is a great problem. Mr. P.D. Pal has explained. I was always hearing when the system was handing over, we were trying to commission. There, no mobile, nothing was that. We are all working through walkie-talkies. So we are, for my plant, I was always having the walkie-talkie in my hand. And I always used to hear, K3, K4 ko short kar do. K2, K3 ko short kar do. Kya K2, K3? I do not know. I am not an electrical man. Palda might be telling better. So, बाद में I asked my electrical counterpart, Mr. Nagar, भाई K3 K4 तेरा क्या है? ना बोलता वो शॉर्ट कर दिया, मेरी bypass हो गया. So, at all the times, automation getting bypassed. And then it causing a chute jam, this failure, that failure, and we are running after it. So, at some point of time, what is happening? So, it was very difficult for us to prove our system commissioned. So, again, BTS came forward and took a great challenge. So we took over the operation 24/7 along with the DSP operation people, which is very difficult task, very difficult task. We employed a good number of young engineers and supervisors and started 24/7 operation. In fact, probably 3 months I could not sleep in my bed. I had to sleep in my sofa because my entire house will get disturbed with the walkie-talkie sound and all. So a nightmare was there. But finally, we could establish our entire system running properly, efficiently. Now, regarding the challenges, so many challenges, but if I have any time, 1 minute, 2 minutes? 2 minutes? 2 minutes? Yeah. So I can only explain at the very beginning, when I entered my design group, my colleague from the design group of Kolkata came to the site and said, he's having one drawing in his hand written KC Tipler. And whole page, motamoti blank or some scribblings. And he said that our new wagon tipler and the route will go along with this. And this is the abandoned KC Tipler. How many years ago, we do not know. So we went to the site to see what is KC Tipler. See nothing. So only some dilapidated structure, something protruded on the ground, some cave type entry, and dark, nothing is there. So we took the permission to go inside, initially not granted, then with a lot of threat has been given to us. If you go inside, it is your responsibility, you can die, this, that. But with all courages put together, we 2-3 people from the design group and from our construction group entered it with some big battery lights. Really humongous task for continuous 7 days, challenging task. And we could draw the KC Tipler inside, which is then converted to the main wagon Tipler route of J3C1C2. Then again, the tunnel is crossing the blast furnace island, because just the tunnel top was touching the blast furnace rail tracks, blast furnace island rail tracks, which cannot be put to shut down. That is again challenge. Again, the consortium has taken a very bold step. At that time, the most updated technology for tunnel pushing was brought in through Cemendia, and the high line was crossed with this tunnel. So great challenge everywhere. 200 number of conveyors. We used to say that belt length is from Howrah to Dhanbad. Huge length of cable. We used to say that from Howrah to Mumbai is the cable we have procured and to lay. So we understand the laying of such huge amount of cable, huge number of conveyors, all are challenges, all are challenges. Yes, yet we have done all, putting our hands together with DSP, with our consultants, Mekon is our absolute hand to hand, shoulder to shoulder, hardworking people with us, learned everything from them, and so many things from them. So I think this is the challenges, mitigations thereupon is the success story behind. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Banerjee. You have described of such an era where there was really the construction methodology and the construction machineries were practically in a primitive stage compared to today's time, and also there was no simulation tools like 3D, 4D, and 5D simulations. So only paper drawings were the only design tools. So really, it captured your deliberation captured very crucial aspects of the success story of DSP modernization. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your very informative and exhaustive deliberation. May I now request Dr. N.R. Mandal to kindly share his thoughts on today's topic.
Okay, thank you, everyone. And what should I say? Very good evening to you all. I had been listening from the beginning of this all the so-called deliberations from all the very senior people, and who have undergone a real great experience in the entire job of modernization of the Durgapur steel plant. Amitava has told me to share uh, some of my knowledge. I don't know, knowledge or views, whatever I want to say, because otherwise I am indirectly a misfit in this group, because my background, I have not, well, only thing in common is I'm also an engineer. That's it. But my domain is that way very narrow. That is the shipbuilding domain in the area of shipbuilding, offshore structures in that area, and with a primary my because and eventually not involved much with industry. I mean, uh, profession wise, so not much of project management ideas I do have, because that way I have not been a party in that. Only after graduation, few years I worked for a shipyard, where for those very few years I was there in that shipyard, Garnridge Shipbuilders and Engineers Limited, as on today. In those days, it used to be Garnridge Workshops, they used to call. We had been building a ocean-going tug. So for that, I was made a so-called, those days, a project coordinating officer, PCO, which involves this kind of so-called project management. Those days, I remember that very term was not coined yet, probably, project management. But anyway, so I'm not an expert in this, neither I have any great experience on this such big challenging task. I was listening to really amazing, especially Mr. Banerjee, Pritish Banerjee has mentioned really very mind-boggling things, along with all the others. Only thing, what I would like to share here is, to start with, I will say one of the very nice thing Mr. Srinivash has mentioned, that collective intelligence flow. because in making any project successful, we need to have a collective flow of intelligence. That means various aspects are available at different fragmented situations, maybe, which can be put together, and that collective flow of intelligence is needed. That is there, definitely. For that becomes more important when you are really handling some complexities, a complex project, that way. Well, these days people, they do have management tools, but merely having management tool doesn't solve the management problem. One of the greatest and very important aspect is having required soft skill, as mentioned by Mr. Pritish Sen, as well as a very important aspect is a human resource management, as being mentioned by Pritish Banerjee, where I mean, mindset, the question of mindset comes into picture. I'll give a small example. I had, like Mr. Banerjee has mentioned, that the mindset itself becomes a very big hurdle, very big obstacle in putting through the for achieving the goal, to putting through the things which you want to implement to get the project, any project, successfully completed. I remember in those very young years, in the late 70s, when I was with Garnet Shipbuilders and Engineers Limited there, suddenly we found two young British fellows moving around in our design office. Then we heard that they're doing something. They started doing something. What is that something? We did not understand much. Then somebody told that we need to henceforth, they are setting some norms that we need to put a drawing number in some fashion, and something is going on. So those two guys were there for a good number of months. And eventually, towards the end, we found they're moving around with quite thick volumes of kind of uh, thick volumes of reports. And eventually, they left some. Uh, they were from the so-called company called Apple Door. They were, it seems, were invited to implement some of the so-called those days. I don't know how to put it. Maybe management techniques, as far as the uh, identifying objects, identifying the drawings, correlating with the sub drawings, and all kinds of things they did. But you can very well see, I can't even say what all things they did. Very vaguely, I'm saying. So that is the thing. Something was done, something was being done. None of us were aware for whom it was being done. They were totally at darkness. And eventually, what is the result? Big zero. They spent a good number of times. Later, we heard it seems there were questions were raised in Parliament as to appointment of such consultant in a PSU, and what happened? What happened is zero, because after they left, after that also for maybe 2 more years I was there in the organization, we did not see any change in the process of working in the in our drawing office, design office. So what happened? Firstly, there was a mindset that what these people are doing doesn't. Then some instructions used to come that you'll have to change this way, that way. Then you say, why the hell we do that? Things are going fine. Why you are complicating it? So people are half-heartedly they accept. They are forced to accept. Some did not accept. And a hodgepodge going on. Awareness was not done. That's very important. Nobody was told what is being done, what good we will get. That is the thing. Like here, when computers first came in industry, I remember in Coal India head office, computers were delivered in the Sanctuary head office. the union people never allowed the company to open the packets and install the computer. Mr. Dheeraj Mandal, I think you can, yeah, that's good. So they were never opened, right? Because people were told that if the computers are implemented, your jobs will go because computer will do everything, right? So mindset, very important. Why I'm telling all this? Because I'd like to highlight here that nowadays there is a very buzzword is going on is AI, artificial intelligence. Well, to put it very straight, I mean, using artificial intelligence, we can do a lot of things. A lot of things becomes easier and simpler for implementation, for doing working out, for testing, for checking the alternatives using artificial intelligence. But the point is, often many of us still think that artificial intelligence, if we implement, means I'm not needed. That means that will do the work. And artificial intelligence being implemented through what? Through a computer, right? So the computer will take charge and everything will be done. So I can rest in peace. There is nothing much I need to do. That is what is we go wrong. It's not that way because the artificial intelligence, as the name artificial, means somebody from outside is putting in that intelligence. There is the human interface. So how that AI protocol will work, that will depend on who is actually implementing it and how he is implementing it. So artificial intelligence, putting artificial intelligence doesn't mean that jobs will get straight away simpler. No, it may land up in utter failure if not done properly. So, but that doesn't mean that we'll not go for this. So my submission here is for all those days, these tools were not available. These days we have these tools. And here I just would like to inform this gathering that I am currently somewhat associated with IIT Guwahati. So there we have a so-called Technology Innovation Hub. It's under the Technology Innovation and Development Foundation, which is a Section 8 company funded by Government of India uh, for 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 taking forward newer technologies which is being worked out by the faculty of IIT. Not only IITs, we are collaborating with all the premier institutes and of India as well as abroad. Right, it's a very good process is there. Like that DSP modernization was done with a great consortia of Russians, Germans, and Indian counterparts. So here we have access to the technology of from the various institutes as well as from some of the foreign universities, wherein from which we can provide a so-called, we had been, Mr. Banerjee has talked about third party involvement is very important, but not necessarily a third party from a foreign land, but from inside. And here I'd like to point out that we from the Technology Innovation Hub we means it's our Amitava Ghosh has coined a word, Team IIT, in line with Team India, like in the cricket matches and all. So Team IIT, that is nothing but actually it's comprising of the IIT Guwahati's Technology Innovation Hub, along with acclaimed industry experts. So we together we can provide for some solutions, like we are now trying to work for the hydro sector. In the hydro energy, you can see what is happening in that China is building a huge 60,000 megawatt or something mind-boggling. I can't even figure out what is it going to be. So anyway, in the hydro sector, we are trying to work this as a third party. The whole idea is third party involvement is in terms of not necessarily in direct implementation, but monitoring the implementation, supervising the implementation, monitoring the design stage, monitoring the construction stage, etc., etc. There are various things involved. Like here in our third party, we also have a partner, Indian Register of Shipping. How they come, because when we talk about any engineering industry, anywhere, there are a lot of basically steel fabrication work is needed, and now to monitor the design, to monitor the fabrication work, all those things, IRS, Indian Register of Shipping, that is one of the primary job. They're the experts in that. So all together we can provide for that using artificial intelligence, even in the aspects of welding technology, for example, wherever it is there in welding technology, as well as weld that assessment of weldment, right? We do by X-ray, we do by this thing, and then manually assess the X-rays or assess the ultrasonic those outputs of the welded joints. Those things, one implement a artificial intelligence, which we have done for some shipyards, wherein we can improve upon the process of inspection. So that is how I'd like to say. I mean, though I don't have much of this project management. I mean, indirect backup we can provide as a third party from that so-called team IIT, wherein people are there both from the theoretical side as well as the practical side, because a good marriage should be there between these two domains. Because otherwise, what happens, I have found that only the practical side, you have the past experience, and then you tend to go on extrapolating that past experience in the future. But if there are theoretical, some person comes in, by theoretical I mean who keeps abreast of the theoretical development, the research development taking place globally in a global sector, in a global forum. So that can be merged with this past experience of a experienced senior technocrat. Then we can go in the future with a much better solution, technological solution. So, well, that is what I wanted to just simple share. So, thank you very much. Thank you. And if you have anything to further,
Mr. Dr. Mandal has really pointed out the advent of the technological advancement and for the future with blending of the experience from the past. I would like to ask Mr. Amitava Ghosh, the brain behind today's session, that Mr. Ghosh, if you suppose if you had the tools which Mr. Dr. Mandal has referred,
Yeah,
the
am I
all the
audible?
tools and technology which in today. Yes, you are audible. So how in your success story turned today?
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. You are audible.
Okay. No, what I want to say that first of all, the key to success, the concept and methodology of project management adopted and followed, which were helpful for success of DSP modernization work. And vis-a-vis present situation, what Dr. Mandal has just spoken is very, very relevant, because what we have found that theory and practice should work together. And that is not happening in India. Because, if you talk about IIT, IIT is not coming to industry, industry is not coming to IIT. But together they can be a big force. And that's what he's talking. We have made Center of Excellence, where IIT with acclaimed industry experts will work together for the industry and society at large. And there, it is more than any tools, any robotics, any artificial intelligence. This one has to understand. Supposing, I'll give an example. We wanted a part commissioning of the coal bed in Durgapur steel plant, and the time was 6 months. It was done by Mekon, 6 months schedule. And then the managing director of DSP, he wanted to do it in 3 months. So he told me in a meeting that, can you do it in 3 months? So I told him yes, because I thought I'll do the reverse engineering. And then after doing that, he was very happy. I found it is very, very difficult to crash in such a half the time. But then what I did, I shifted my people, design people from my office, few very intelligent people, and I told him, let's be at Durgapur for the 3 months. We'll be together with the site people. And that togetherness has helped the result. And we did the commissioning with 3 months. And then I found that the knowledge is more important than all the tools. Because with knowledge, you can reduce the quantity of work. Otherwise, people will say that this is the work content. But if you have knowledge, you know that how to reduce the work. And it is also like a war situation where you have to do it within that period with constraint. And that is most important, I am thinking, that any project management, whatever is done, I feel sometimes it is very much theoretical or maybe clerical. But they cannot crash the program. But the intelligent people, they can make that within 12 months, they can make it 6 months or 8 months, because with their knowledge inputs in different sectors, right from engineering, fabrication, transportation, erection, commissioning, all sectors, they can reduce the time. And that sort of knowledgeable people are most required to do a project in a record time. And that's what China is doing. See, what Dr. Mandal is saying, they are thinking of a project in Tibet, upstream of Brahmaputra River, 60,000 megawatt. Total capacity of India in hydro is 51,000 megawatt. One project is 60,000 megawatt. And to think of that project itself, I salute them, that somebody is thinking. And what will happen, other thing is a different subject. But we are struggling with a 2,000 megawatt project for the last 20 years. It's still not commissioned in Subansiri in Arunachal Pradesh. So the most important is, that's what we said, the most important is knowledge resource. And that we have to develop. And unfortunately, I must say that the technology, even in steel plant today, even for the primary plant, the main plant producer, if they want to make a new plant, they have to connect with the foreign bidder for supply of technology and supply of special equipment. In these two areas, though our steel sector is very, very talented people they have, but these sectors, we are not still strong. We are, in the steel sector, we are the number 2 in the world. We are having, I think, 140 million ton. And China is, of course, 1,000 million ton. But even we are number 2, we are still, if we have to make an integrated steel plant, we have to look abroad. And that is because we have resource crunch, I would say. And that's what we have to develop. I mean, all these tools are okay, because if I have knowledge, then I can make the tools for ourselves. I'll tell you, even Durgapur steel plant, that time process control automation was very new. and we connected with Siemens and Siemens Germany. I used to go to Germany. That time they were very new. And all the people, they said that this process control automation may not work. But this worked. And I'll tell you one more thing, what Pritish has said, that, we had 3 levels of work. One is local interlock. Number 2 is PLC, programmable logic controller. And third is process control automation. And immediately after local interlock, when conveyor started moving, the consuming people, they wanted the material to flow for commercial production. But then I said that what do we do with other 2 steps? They said you take over the operation maintenance for some time, as he was telling, and do this work and later on hand it over to you. So I said, as usually, yes. But after taking over, I said it's a very, very difficult job. Operation maintenance, you cannot sleep at night, as Pritish was telling. And with a lot of effort, after I think 6 months we operated, and later on we completed process control automation and also PLC, and then we handed over to them. So the knowledge level is the most important, I must say. Even knowledge is another level of knowledge is sourcing material. What is the best material you can get at what price? Very important. That knowledge we should have, and we should have first from our domestic field, and then we should go abroad. That is one weird. And third is that how fast we can. This sourcing is so important. And third is also important in the project management. What is your price level in the project? Is it very tight, or is it our level? I must say, in DSP it was reasonably good. I must say, it was not a very tight project, so we could do some freely. And also, I must thank DSP and Mekon. The payment disbursement was very good. Otherwise, you cannot. A lot of projects are not going on well, maybe because the payment is not coming. Nobody is telling that, but this is a fact of life. So I would say that these are the few points I think one should look at it, so that is the key to success. And the last point I want to say, the insurance. We had a problem because there are so many consortium members, how to cover the project with the insurance. So we came up with the idea. We connected one government company, that is New India Insurance, and all the consortium members were connected with New India. One project, one insurance. And we paid the premium as per our order value. And the whole project was done. New India did a very good job. And I feel when there are a lot of agencies in a project site, it is better to coordinate with some umbrella agency rather than going to each and every point. Because insurance is a very important point in any project. So I think I have told what I wanted to. Hello?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Ghosh, because
yeah,
ultimately it comes from the deliberations of Dr. Mandal and Mr. Pritish Kumar Banerjee, that ultimate, and also from your takeaway on this particular part, that finally the knowledge and the human resource, whatever might be the advancement of AI and the different engineering tools in coming years or near future, finally the human resources and the knowledge base,
yes,
it will still be governed. It will still govern.
And that was the key to success for DSP modernization work. That is why not a single court case, arbitration case happened amongst consortium members or with Durgapur steel plant. This is unbelievable. For such a big project, no court case, no arbitration case happened. Because problem came, but we all amicably discussed and solved ourselves. That is a human factor. And this is not there. Today, if you see any big project, so many court cases are going on. particularly the construction project. So this is what I wanted to say. Thank you, Arnab. And maybe next speaker can come.
Yes, may I now request Dr. Young and Dynamic Dr. Sarojkant Singh.
Thank you, Mr. Dutta, for giving me this opportunity to speak. I must say that Amitava sir has been consistently arranging these seminars and which brings together a lot of knowledgeable people, and we share our thoughts. And I think this is one of the need of the hour also. So I'll give a brief presentation and try to add on to what the various speakers have informed us. So I think there are some underlying principles of a big mega project like DSP to be successful, and it's a subject called complex adaptive systems. Um, I'm also doing my PhD, which is, I have my defense on the 24th of this month, which is for the first time bringing the concept of project strategy, which has not been developed in academics that much. And what my research reveals is that project strategy is akin to energy. And although we speak a lot about cost, time, and quality in projects, what all the previous speakers also mentioned, the human factor is the key. And this is where my research also revolves around. And there are previous academicians who has shown that autonomy in a project and stakeholder influence, these two define the project strategy. And there is a, theory of stakeholder theory, which defines the power of stakeholder as three components, that is power, legitimacy, and urgency. And this categorizes the stakeholders into various categories, and this actually decides fate of the project. I will not take much of your time to dwell deep into it, but what Mr. Srinivash Singh had initially informed about the Malik management, and I think Mr. Pritish informed about system dynamics. So my research was in system dynamics, which developed in MIT by J. Forrester, and this cybernetics, which is management in the management side has come, is nothing but control and communication. So they parallelly developed in two different sides of the world. And Dr. Beard, who actually started this field, implemented it at a country level in the Chile government. And that did not complete because the then president was assassinated and a different government came. But the theory was taken forward by Malik Institute, Switzerland, and they have defined how we can build future organizations. And the basic principle is self-regulation. I just would like to refer what Dr. Nishid Mandal just said, that he's a misfit. But, maybe he meant he's an outlier. And what this theory also informs is a sustainable system will only happen if it has something called requisite variety. And this requisite variety should be more than that of the environment. And this then brings in collective intelligence. For this, what you have to do is free flow of information. And information is not any information, but actionable information. When the entire system has that, it can react to any of the uh, impulse or disturbance that occurs to it. And these are there in nature, and one of them is the beehive. Now, when we come to DSP as a benchmark, we will see that there has been traces of this underlying theory which was followed and why it succeeded. And we will see that in that project you will definitely have cross-functional exchange, rotation of people in departments, executive decisions being taken, empowerment of people at various levels, and bypass of bureaucracy. I'm sure this will was happening. And I think Mr. Pritish Banerjee mentioned about a missing steel piece. So, these kind of things happen. And one of the speakers uh, spoke about critical path. So the critical path always changes because it is very dynamic. And there is always a fight between the planning and the execution, that too much planning will not help and you have to execute, because the things are so dynamic and changing, and without the right mix and information of the people who run the projects do not succeed. And this is why the complete information flow is critical. Right now we are in the Mahakumbh, and this is the most complex system that is witnessed across the world. Lot of all the universities are there, and this is also example of a complex adaptive system. This is, I think, a really important discipline that should enter the project management space and organizations, which can revolutionize the way we are doing projects. Most of the mega projects in our country are delayed majorly because of handling the people side, or what we call the human factor. Now, there is another reason why we should be talking about this, and I think Mr. Amitava Ghosh mentioned it. Most of the world population is now aging, and there's a huge knowledge base in the senior citizen. A transfer of knowledge from this to the young youth is very critical. We should also understand that complex adaptive system work on complex systems. So there are simple systems, complex system, and chaotic systems. So for example, if we are in a war, the principles of that environment will be very different from a complex system. And complex system is in between a chaotic and a simple system. But most of the projects we do like simple systems, where we break them into parts and then try to make a hierarchical structure, and it doesn't work. As we go forward, I think the organizations will change, and the availability of information is increasing day by day. Information is available to all. Now question is how we get the right information at the right time with the right person. That is the science behind it. People Speakers also mentioned about AI. So AI will highly customize the offerings of companies, and people will have data on a particular user, and platforms will run the world. This is where we are heading to. We will be in a distributed world, and not a centralized world. So how we manage this information and science will be key to success. What Mr. Srinivas Singh has mentioned about collective intelligence is how we can bring in a shared view. I think in the DSP project, the shared view was somehow brought in. There was a passion to build a big steel plant in Bengal, and that drove most of the team members. And it was not a carrot and stick, which most of the companies and maybe project managers many times use. There was a saying, greed is good, by Adam Smith. I think we are transitioning from there to what we call sustainability. Now, the question is how we design this organization. All in theory, how do we actually design a complex adaptive paradigm? And I think the reason that all the old systems like that of the communists and then the capitalists fell, and we are seeing wars all around the globe in Ukraine and in the West Asia, we can understand that something is severely wrong. And one of the key things is trust. I think this is where our design should focus on. We are egocentric organisms as human beings, and we have the selfish gene. We try to express ourselves and our egos. But what we call collective intelligence, or what prior to us, thinkers like Sri Aurobindo has informed, Lok Sangrah will be the future of how we design systems and how we make this element of a selfish behavior less and leverage this complexity. And what I would like to come back to what Nishin Mandal said as an outlier, the requisite variety is needed to bring out the knowledge of a group. So various disciplines and various knowledge bases should be there to bring out a good optimized solution. This brings out the tacit knowledge, which is not only knowledge of the individual, but the connections and the systems that operate these individuals, and then bring in self-regulation. So, you may ask me that, okay, you are saying so many theory. Is there a complex adaptive system that we see in our worlds? And yes, there is. And this is an image of the flight system that operates and seamlessly without any accident. And this is the nearest to the future organization we see that. And I would like to show you a video of this, how this operates, to just give you an example of how we can design future project systems or what we call the future world. And I think if we can organize systems and information seamlessly, there is no reason why we cannot have a success story like DSP again, and how we can repeat this in a much rapid way. I One of the speakers actually mentioned about the atmosphere building, and I think somehow they could seamlessly have all the resources and time and do it very successfully, 1,000-ton lifting. But many times we have much complex issues, and if we follow the principles of cybernetics and what we call collective intelligence, we can develop such excellent future world organizations and projects. Thank you very much.
Thank, thank you, Saraj, for your elusive presentation and insight on the subject.
Dear all, I am Amal Sengupta, joined Birla Technical Services in 1989 for DSP modernization project work. As a technologist in raw material handling complex, Part B package for coal preparation plant, I'd like to share my views on some special features. Amazing historical achievement. Birla Technical Services, led by late Dr. B.N. Majumdar, did the most difficult pivotal role to create and coordinate the aforesaid global consortium and execute the ever biggest project of rupees 2000 crore in 1989, which was successfully commissioned and handed over to Durgapur steel plant in 1995 without any legal issue among the consortium partners and the clients. All disputes and conflict among the global consortium members from India, Russia, and Germany in both public sectors and private sectors were amicably resolved at all stages from concept to commissioning of the project for Durgapur steel plant modernization work. Particularly in view of the fact that Russia and Germany worked together as EPC contractor in the 80s and 90s in midst of the fall of Berlin Wall. Furthermore, we have seen that Germany has been consistently among the countries with extremely negative views of Russia, then Soviet Union, since Second World War. The same negativity has been shown by the Russian side as well. The Soviet Union eventually entered into the alliance with the United States due to the Nazi decision to launch its invasion of the Soviet Union in June 1941. The Soviet troops defeated the Germans at the Battle of Stalingrad in 1943 and eventually raised the flag over the Reichstag in 1945.
While working, we had to face severe criticism for trying to turn over the loss-making unit of Durgapur steel plant, which would supposedly result in just spoiling time and money. However, it turns out to be a profit-making unit since 1995-96 and continues to be the so for last 3 decades. So this case may be sent to Guinness or Limca books of record for recognition of a world record. I am indeed feeling proud even today to have been a part of DSP modernization work in 1989 to 95 as a technologist of coal preparation plant. I was deputed in Altai coke plant in Siberia, Russia, for specialized training and in Gyprocox with an assignment to transfer the technology of selective coal crushing unit, a special system devised by them, the world reputed coke oven designer Gyprocox at Kharkov, then in Russia and presently in Ukraine, for Durgapur steel plant modernization package. The unit was successfully commissioned and first time in India and still working since 1994 effectively with total satisfaction. It was indeed an achievement during that time that the same technology from Gyprocox in India 1986-87 was still struggling for commission and remained unsuccessful due to various reasons, mainly building design, chute design, and other material handling parameters. In the Vizag steel plant, then Rashtriya Ispat Nigam Limited. Its present status is not known to me, but so far my knowledge, it is still the only working plant as selective coal crushing unit in India at Durgapur steel plant, West Bengal. It's truly an untold, unique successful story. When it was completed, even things was done in person at the local site with no modern facilities like email, mobile phone, AutoCAD drawing, etc. So it was an excellent example of dedicated teamwork and discipline. Thank you.
So, may I now request Mr. Amit Roy, our last speaker for the technical session, to kindly share his thoughts on this subject.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Amit Roy. I was part of BTS for some time, and I worked for Birla Corporate in the corporate office of Delhi, and I was a team for the entire duration. I was in the team of BTS. So I used to interact with Amitava Ghosh, I used to interact with Dr. Majindar, PK Paul, ex-MD of DSP, all these people. Now, I was sitting in Delhi and I was basically a person for entire Northern India coordination, project management, supply expedition, expediting, inspection through Mekong, Dastur, BHEL, Hardwar, BHEL, Bhopal, these coordination, inspection, etc., follow up. So I was the center point for and also setting up meetings with sale management. So that used to be my role, and I really enjoyed working with BTS team, and sometimes I used to go to DSP site also. I heard the presentations by various people, and I really like that. And nothing new. I mean, these are all the very important aspects of because after the steel plant project tapered down, I was also associated with the Birla BTS with Parsons. We had a joint venture with Parsons. Right now, it's Worley Parsons. It was Ralph M. Parsons, Pasadena, USA. So we had a 50-50 joint venture with BTS and Parsons. So I was one of the key members in that. And thereafter I was in African countries, executing projects. I was with Punj Lloyd, I was with UB, Vijay Malia's company as chief executive. So human factor is important, very, very important. Come what may, human factor, trust, these are the words which were used. And knowledge crunch in India, of course, is also another aspect which somebody talked about, which is also important. Okay, my role was basically coordinating, which I already covered. So thereafter, I picked up, EPC knowledge and EPC exposure in various other companies. But being the first in EPC experience and EPC project, I had a hands-on experience as to what is EPC, and then I put up a small team in Delhi itself, and I used to bid project, execute projects myself, and then of course outside India, in African countries also, I used to execute projects. So over a period of time, this EPC turnkey has gone into my mind, and I have become an EPC professional. And of course now I'm in the 70s and I am mostly on my own. So in the 80s, the transformation from the conventional execution to turnkey execution started, and this project which we are talking about right now, this BTS DSP project, DSP modernization, is one such unique project which really started the ball rolling for EPC. Before that, it was mostly a conventional norm, conventional way of executing, because the owner will get hold of a consultant, owner will get hold of a construction company, owner will get hold of number of suppliers and supply various key equipment and plant, and then put together things, and then they start fighting. Consultant will say that hey, hamara fault nahi hai. The equipment supplier will say that this is the fault of somebody else, this is not my fault. The construction man will say. So to put that into rest, the EPC concept started, that there will be one company who will put together everything. Maybe he will charge, if it is 100, he will charge 110, 10 rupees he will take extra. But he will take all the guarantees and performance guarantees and everything. At the end of the day, he will give you a key, you just put on the key and the plant will start. That is how it is turnkey. So this started, but again, there was, let me tell you, because we are from the private sector, I mean, in the government, what had happened was, because I had a lot of interaction with MECON and also EIL, because EIL was under Ministry of Oil and Gas. MECON was under Steel Ministry. So for them to get any steel plant project was just a cakewalk, or for EIL to get a refinery was a cakewalk. There is no competition. So there was no. Now of course the private sectors and big players are coming and international players are coming. But in our days, any project refinery will be EIL. So it was mostly conventional. EIL will do the engineering, EIL will do the PMC, EIL will get hold of some contractors and some equipment supplier, and that's how it will go on. But if it is on a lump sum turnkey, it is much better in the sense of compression of project, time overrun, and the performance itself. So I think we should learn from the the earlier experiences, and this EPC consortium EPC has been started by this project, unique project, and I still cherish the memory of BTS's Durgapur steel plant, and learnt a lot of things, lot of good experience about this. So before I finish, I must thank Mr. Amitava Ghosh and his team and the other speakers for their contribution, and that is what I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Rai. So we have done the technical session. May I now request Mr. Arnab Banerjee to kindly take over and conduct the concluding session along with the interactive part. He is not online. So may I now request Mr. Amitava Ghosh to kindly open the session for interactive discussions.
No, you can. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
No, you can also ask. See, anybody has any question?
So we have.
I think we have discussed at length, and we have also discussed interactive session was also in between. So anybody has any other question? Otherwise, we request Mr. Arunava Gupta for vote of thanks.
Yes. In case anybody from the
I think Mr. Arunava Gupta
I'll just mention, as the people have already mentioned, like it's a thanks to Mr. Ghosh and his team to organize this. And he also mentioned time and again that this sort of story is going not only recorded here, but for the future as well. So I think like when he puts it in YouTube, I'm sure some people will definitely go through, at least as a knowledge sake, and also to take something out of it. What Sharosh was mentioning about that flight, what he showed, and these other things, what his father also mentioned about the cybernetics. And even this is a very good thing. And on the whole, I must say, it's a very good afternoon spent on a Sunday. It will remain.
Thank you very much. Because I thought this is the way we can at least do something keep some record for the new generation.
Yeah, I would fully agree with Pritish and Amitava Ghosh. If Durgapur was not modernized, perhaps would have been stick, and by the time perhaps it would have been closed. So a very good job done, especially under the leadership of Dr. Majumdar, without whose inspiring leadership perhaps would not have been possible. But and it will be there in YouTube. It will be helpful for future also. But one thing I just saying that even now the projects are getting delayed enormously, and a lot of things to be learned. Like the project, like in Shengur, it was almost ready, but could not be started. POSCO spent 10 years in Odisha, spent a lot of money, and they went back. And those who are starting, it is taking indefinitely long time. So there are a lot of things to learn and implement so that the projects are planned properly and implemented timely.
In fact, sir, to add to that,
it also took a lot of time, 10, 12 years. This should not happen. It is only cost escalation and projects are getting delayed. So you must learn how to implement project timely within the budget.
Yeah, in
actually, I will interject that I think we have a cultural deficit as far as project management is concerned, that we will only delay. If you say that how many projects have been done on time, it will be very few. In India, in West Bengal recently, I would say one project, Purulia Palm Storage Project, which was done with the support of Japanese. It was done within time, within budget, and no accident, a very safe project. So this type of project, actually, we don't do. That is the problem. And another thing I would say, the safety, total safety of the project. Total safety means safety in all respect, engineering, execution, apart from accidental safety and even financial safety.
Hello, friends. Good evening to all of you. It was a wonderful journey riding on a time machine, going back 3.5 decades, remembering and commemorating a golden event of modernization of Durgapur steel plant that started in 1989 and ended in 1995. The challenges were endless, but a resolute commitment by a team of dedicated persons led to the success of the project. There had been many learning points for current and future generations engaged or to be engaged in large project job, be as a designer or EPC contractors or technology providers, equipment manufacturers, erection engineers, the inspection team, those supervision, those supervising safety issues, men in commercial and finance, so and so forth. The country is poised for a massive expansion in capacity of steelmaking, aided and assisted by latest innovations, state-of-the-art technologies, targeting to reach capacity of 300 million tons with net zero emission. No matter what, the basic fundamentals of project management will remain unchanged during coming days. I offer heartiest compliments to all the participants, eminent speakers, the organizers, the anchors, Mr. Arnab Banerjee and Mr. Anirban Dutta, backroom support extended by the online coordinator, Mr. Pallavadov, and digital support provided by Mr. Biman Chattopadhyay. My special appreciation is for untiring effort of Mr. Amitava Ghosh, who had conceived with the idea of holding this online seminar aiming for future project managers in the country. A young Amitavada at his age of 78 years is full of dreams and passions to do good for the society as reflected in today's endeavor. We hope to hear from him in near future. The seminar ends here. Thank you and good night.